From Hayden Field at Xavier University, welcome to this Reds Futures High School Showcase between two Eastern Cincinnati Conference teams duking it out tonight, Lebanon Warriors and Kings Knights on ICRC-TV Sports. I'm Will Matthews, joined by my partner Lucas Quintos. Lucas, how are we feeling today?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out for some baseball. Friday, end of the week, and everyone's looking ready to play.
Feeling dandy indeed. Let's take a look at how these two teams compare. And as you can see, records not too similar between these two teams. However, the rest of their stats are. Lucas, what are you seeing here?
Yeah, very similar batting average and OBP. The whip from the pitcher is also pretty similar. But what the big difference I see, other than the records, is the earned run average. Lebanon having a much better earned run average than the Kings Knights. You can see that they're almost a whole point apart, but the main difference I see when looking at their conference standings is just that so many close games from the Kings where they just slowly lose.
Yeah, we'll see how that pitching duel fares tonight. Over on the Lebanon side, number 33, Braden Kyle is the player to watch tonight. He leads the team with a .405 batting average, .500 on-base percentage, and we'll see how his bat fares in this battle.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the Kings side, Andrew Lyman batting .414, junior outfielder, and very much a contact guy, it seems, with no home runs, but has been very, very much a leader for their team.
Warriors, Knights, coming up next on ICRC-TV Sports.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back to Hayden Field here at Xavier University in Norwood, Ohio, as we are just about to get underway between the Lebanon Warriors and the Kings Knights. Weather here today is holding off for us. The forecast for the past couple of days did not look promising, but today, a lot of blue sky, fluffy white clouds. We're in the 50 degrees area here. Wind blowing out to left field as we take a look at the man on the bump. Number 8, Carson McDonough. He is leading the Knights with innings pitched. That's 23. He's also got a .365 ERA, 17 strikeouts on the year. He's looking to keep things close for his ball team today.
Yeah, going back to the stats, keeping it the runs close is very important considering the difference in team ERA.
Agreed. And both these teams look to be hitting pretty well, as Lebanon is batting as a team over 300, and the Knights are trying to get themselves over 300. So they'll see if they can break into this game early. We've got a couple more pitches coming down before we will get underway.
Yeah, I wonder how that wind blowing out into left field is also going to affect the game.
Yeah, when I watch the Muskies play here, that it's a shorter porch to both corners. And with the wind blowing out today, anything up in the air to left might be trouble.
Leading off the top of the first inning for Lebanon, the shortstop, number 12, Taylor Markham.
And stepping into the box here is number 12, Taylor Markham. Red short, he's batting .362. We're going to get things started today.
Yeah, it seems like he gets about on base about half the time, so we'll see how this at-bat goes.
First pitch is going to be located outside. McDonough locates that one for strike number 1. Markham left that one in the dirt. Low. Fouled up and over the wall down the left field line.
Yeah, looking at the start of this at-bat, pitching him very much down and away.
2-2's the count. Donald gets his sign, delivers, and he's going to ring him up for the first out of the ball game.
Good start for the Kings on the mound.
That'll be his 18th strikeout on the inning. Look at where this pitch located. You mentioned earlier in the at-bat, locating down and away, came right over the middle for that one.
Yeah, kind of just froze the batter.
In the box here is number 3, Peyton Livingston. He takes ball 1. Pitch 3 of that bat will be fouled and up and over our high home operator. Brings the count to 1-2. Or 2-1, excuse me. Livingston leaves that one up. Brings it to a hitter's count of 3-1.
Let's see if we get a swing here.
Fouled off, it looked to be his knee there. He's going to have a moment to gather himself. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
On the inside thigh there. Definitely stings a bit, you know, as they say, rub some dirt on it.
Yeah.
Well, Livingston will hop back in without issue.
Usually you hope that's a bit lower, at least to where it hits your pads.
Yeah. At least it was the fleshy part, as he'll put this one out into play over to short. Throw will beat him for out number 2. Stepping in now, number 2, Mason Hurst, over at second today. First pitch misses outside.
Ooh.
Hurst has a moment.
That's actually a strike because it hit his bat.
Yeah, up and over as you're taught to drop that bat up and around the head, but obviously when the ball is coming at you, a lot of times just unable, as you see. 382 for Hurst. This Pitch misses low as Hurst tries to fight back from that earlier strike.
Big swing and a miss.
Counts 2-2. Brings the count to full. Sixth pitch of the at-bat fouled off. Hurst looking to get maybe something started here. 2 outs on the top of the first. McDonough steps off. And McDonough will strike him out for his second strikeout of the inning, 19th on the year. And we will head to the bottom of the first. Still tied here, 0-0.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
Welcome back here for the bottom of the first. We saw Carson McDonough get 2 strikeouts in the top of the first, as we see Caleb Ritter here on the bump for Lebanon. He's got 19 and a third innings this year, and he's got a stealthy 1.81 ERA, 26 strikeouts on the year, and maybe that was what we were talking about earlier, that ERA difference. Ritter possibly being their ace, you know, what does it mean for them to go to him in this game here?
I mean, looking at game 1, they lost Lebanon won game 1 against Kings, so Lebanon's just looking to lock it down, win game 2, and with their ace on the mound, it's looking like it's going to be pretty rough.
I would imagine so, with their decision to go to him today. First offering for Ritter will be number 3, Nathan Tucker. First pitch is belted out to left center, but that is going to be shagged out and caught for the first out of the bottom of the first.
Number 8, pitcher Carson McDonough.
Loud but quick start for the first out.
Indeed. Thought that one might get down, but just held up there and wasn't too much difficulty. As a first pitch, first out. There's a quick start to this bottom of the first. Stepping in now is our pitcher. 2 strikeouts in the top, Carson McDonough. He's batting .348 on the year. Foul the second pitch off. Kings looking to get the bats going early. Third pitch of the at-bat is taken for a strike on the outside corner. Ritter looks to locate low. 58-foot off-speed pitch there. McDonough doesn't bite. Counts 2-2. And that one's going to be painted on the corner for a backwards K, our second of the game. First for Lebanon.
Number 7, designated hitter, Quentin Klein.
Sorry, third of the game.
Second backwards strikeout of the
second
game.
backwards strikeout.
Yeah, second looking.
Correct.
First pitch fouled off by the third batter in the inning, Quentin Kleinhens, or DH. Second lefty at the top of the order here for the Knights.
This definitely seems intentional.
Kleinhens now has to work back from an 0-2 count.
That's going to be rough to do against a guy with a 1.81 ERA.
Ritter looks to possibly get Kleinhens to fish up top. See if he comes back inside with the fastball here. The pitch. Put over to first, but that's going to squeak foul. And Kleinhens will remain around for another pitch. I get the feeling that Ritter is not the type of pitcher to give you a whole lot of additional pitches other than the ones over the plate to try and work a walk.
Yeah, very much looking like it. A lot of these pitches are hanging around the zone.
That one just a bit off the plate. Heard some audible gasps back here. Possibly looking for the second strikeout looking of the inning. 2-2. Swung on and missed. So Ritter, no trouble other than the first pitch of the inning that was put out to center field. Retires the next two batters on 3 strikes. So we'll head to the top of the second here on ICRC-TV Sports. All right, and we are back for the top of the second as you see some fans partaking in some extracurricular activities right here around Hayden Field on what is shaping up to be a pretty nice and sunny day. We've got some cloud breakage over the top of us.
Leading off the top of the second inning for Lebanon, left fielder number 4, Vincent Strickland.
Yeah, you got to feel the sun's going to come out at some point. You wonder how that might play into the game.
Some Lebanon and Kings faithful up behind us in the stands, showing out for this Reds Futures High School Showcase matchup. One of 84 of them taking place this year. Here's the first pitch. Fouled off by Strickland. Strickland's batting .263 on the year. Looking for the first hit for the Warriors. And as I was mentioning, 84 Reds Futures games are set to take place this year on what is the 15th anniversary of them starting this project. This one poked out to left center. He's going to get down for a hit.
That's in the
Tracking
gap.
back to the wall. Strickland holding up at second. And that's going to be the first hit of the ball game, folks. Double out to left center. But as I was saying with the Reds Futures Showcase, 84 games, 49 teams, I believe, between both baseball and softball, in 3 states: Northern Kentucky, Southwest Ohio, and up in the Dayton area, and Indiana, I believe. Strike number 1, offered to Kyle, our player to watch from earlier in the broadcast. He's a sophomore, so he's got a couple more years at the varsity level for the Warriors. He swings over the second pitch for strike number 2. But he's leading the bats for the Warriors, so a guy possibly to build around.
Looking to get into double-digit RBIs right here with driving in the runner at second.
This one's going to kick away, and Strickland will advance to third.
Now a sac fly will drive in a run.
Kyle 1-2. Over to third. Checks the runner back. And will secure the out at first.
Very well done by the third baseman. Checking the runner back to third and getting the out at first.
Yeah, Kyle could have put the ball probably anywhere on the field. And Strickland would have had a chance to make a pass at it, but third base right there. You know, can see the glint in his eyes, checking back to first.
Helps that ball wasn't necessarily hit too hard or too soft.
Stepping in is Loudon Hughes. Takes his second pitch of the at-bat for a ball. Brings the count to 1-1. Second pitch misses just off the plate.
I don't know about you, Will, but with how Lebanon's ace is on the mound, feels like Kings really wants to get out of this without giving up a run.
That indeed. Once the floodgates are open, I imagine Ritter's going to be a tough hurdle for the for the Knights to get past. This one's put into play. They're going to go home with it, and they're going to make the call that Strickland was safe at home. It's going to be the first run of the ball game as the Warriors strike first.
Seems like the Lebanon runner might be a bit shaken up after that.
Yeah, he did slide in funky and might have jammed his wrist on the corner of the bag there. But nonetheless, it's going to be the first run of the game. Hughes credited with the RBI.
Catcher number 9, Ethan Kiefaber.
Probably will be listed as a fielder's choice, though.
Stepping in for the Warriors, Ethan Kiefaber, our catcher. First pitch locates on the inside corner. Kiefaber batting .250 on the year, .429 on base percentage. looking to keep things rolling for the Warriors here.
Usually when you see that big a difference between on-base percentage and batting average, it means they have a pretty good idea of the strike zone.
Count's going to be 2-1 here. This one's fouled hard into the Knights' dugout. A couple of guys had to get out of the way quick there. Two-two to Kiefaber. Taken for a ball. And they're going to ring him up on the outside corner there for McDonough's third strikeout of the ballgame.
First baseman, number 7, Drew Eckerly.
We take another look here. Don't know what Kiefaber was looking for there. That one looked pretty close. Stepping in for the Warriors is number 7, Drew Eckerly. He's batting .220. He'll pop this one up and over the netting here. .250 on base percentage for Eckerly. Popped up on the infield. Second under it, and we'll retire the third out of the inning, but not before the Warriors strike first, claiming their first run of the ball game, out to a 1-0 lead.
Sun looked like it might come out for a bit there, but it didn't.
Deep left field.
Welcome to another edition of What's Going Down the Dale.
Welcome. You're listening to the Human Resource.
Yeah, well, easy fight.
Bottom of the second here at Hayden Field. Warriors claiming 1 at the top of the inning. As we look ahead here, the first offering to Ritter this inning will be Parker McDonough, freshman brother to Carson McDonough, a pitcher and catcher brother duo, not often seen here. I once got to play with my brother in high school, and that was pretty fun. A lot of good memories. So,
yeah, me and my brother are just far enough apart to where we just miss each other. I went into college, and he went into high school.
Yeah, I can't speak to catching my brother on the mound. But nevertheless, McDonough steps out, .283 batting average on the year. Looking to break into this ball game for the Knights with the first hit of the ball game. This one hit loosely out to left field, and that'll settle for the first hit. So, you know, announcer calls for it, and announcer immediately receives it.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to see a good baseball game, and seeing hits on both sides will always generally lead to that.
Andrew Lyman is going to be the next batter up. We highlighted him at the top of our broadcast. He'll take the first pitch inside, as he could be the guy to break things through for Kings today. Batting .414, .433 on base percentage.
Yeah, very much seems like a bat the ball type of guy. So
this one playable. Pitcher calls it off, settles under it, and Lyman will go down.
That's a big out for Lebanon.
Indeed, I'm sure that's going to be part of the game plan for the Warriors all day, is keeping Lyman off the scorecard. As next to step up will be Tyler Griffiths, senior with a .310 average. He's out and right today. First pitch breaking up in the zone.
I was going to say this seems like the type of moment to go for that double play ground ball, but pitching him high in the zone, I don't know if that'll do that.
Lyman misses just off the plate there. You mentioned double play ball. Aside from the single we just saw, doesn't seem like he's dancing around too much. As I say that, count will be 3-0 to Griffiths. And that'll be a 4-pitch walk. A couple of close pitches, but ultimately nothing over the zone. And Kings will have 2 runners on now, 1 in scoring position. Looking to even it up quickly here. Stepping in now is number 2, Zach Schutt. He'll take first pitch over the middle. Schutt 244 on the year. He'll take strike number dose.
Kings, though, looking to tie up this game.
That indeed, 1 out. Anything but the double play ball will put perhaps 1 runner in scoring position, possibly 2. Schutt will call time at the plate here. Ritter checks back to second. The 0-2 offering. And Schutt way ahead of it that time. Possibly looking for something a bit faster.
Yeah, very much out in front of that pitch.
Almost off the end cap of the bat from our vantage point here.
Dugout starts to get loud.
This one up the middle. That's going to get stopped, but not fielded cleanly. So all runners advance. No out recorded on the play.
That's going to set up bases loaded.
So we take another look here. Great effort. Just gets enough glove on it to keep it spinning behind it, but won't continue into the outfield. Saves a run there.
Hit pretty hard
for
though.
The Warriors. Up at bat now is Caleb Yoder, first baseman. He'll take first pitch strike, as he's got a 281 average on the year.
First base spot's usually pretty much a power spot, so we'll see how this at bat goes.
Yeah, it could possibly be sticking some power at the bottom of this lineup here. He'll swing away. Be down 0-2. Ducks on the pond here with 1 out. 8-9, then leadoff. If the Kings can keep this rally going. Excuse me, the Knights can keep this rally going.
A nice stop by the catcher.
Kiefaber back there. Saves it from rolling all the way back to the backstop. Shirley would at least have an opportunity to score one, but corralled that one in. One, two, and Yoder will swing over that. Pitch was dropped, but first occupied, so no chance at making something happen there.
Yeah, looking back at that pitch. Just a weighing in the dirt.
Yeah, great breaking pitch. With the bases loaded, not a whole lot of room to pitch to contact here. Ritter decides to go after it himself. If he can get out of this inning scoreless, this will be one to remember for later in the ballgame. First pitch, stuffed by Kiefaber. Jackson Spaeth, excuse me. I believe this is Jackson Spaeth, but my roster has 223, so I apologize if this is not him, but he'll take a strike. I have confirmed it is Jackson Spaeth, so I apologize for anybody following along at home. Got 223s on my roster. Makes my job a little bit more difficult. This one's going to be hit over to short. They elected to go to third, and the call is going to be safe.
That'll tie the game at 1.
That will. As short was ranging way over, elected to go for the easiest possible out. But yeah, that throw doesn't look to have beat him over at short, over at third.
Even if it did, I'm not sure if he handled that throw cleanly.
No. Umpires are going to have a meeting about this. Lebanon will appeal the call. Unfortunately, although we are at Hayden Field, the same replay review resources are not available yet at the high school level. I'm sure that'll be just a couple of years away with how technology has been trickling its way down to us at ICRC-TV.
Yes.
We would love to have replay review, I would say that much.
Yeah. Between analytics and replay review, sports is very much improving in the ways that all the levels are able to handle it.
Yeah, you can see it in the truck. Unfortunately, we're not able to provide the same feed for our umpires here at the field.
Hopefully we will at some point. We are back to the top of the order now.
We are, as Tucker will step in for his second at-bat. He flew out to center on a first pitch, hard hit line out.
Even with a pitcher with a great ERA on the mound, letting this roll over to the top of the order is not a recommended thing to do.
Not ideal indeed.
Especially with the bases loaded.
This one taken the other way. That's going to get down and past the right fielder. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. The entire bases are coming around as they'll hold Tucker up at third with a 3 RBI triple. And this one gets away from the Warriors quickly here.
Let's see this replay.
That one just out in front of the right fielder's glove and goes to the deepest corner on the field there.
That's a hard read there, though, Will.
That is a hard read. Right field here at Hayden Field does have a hill up against the warning track, kind of similar to Minute Maid quite a long time ago. That play was not, I would not attribute the hill at all to that, but
doesn't change the fact that that was a rough play.
Yeah, a very difficult play to make. Sometimes, you know, you just want to stay up and cover that. You know 1 run's going to score at least, but you lay out, you try and make a play, and that will just allow more than that to get through. But McDonough will strike out, so that'll retire the inning for Ritter as he escapes, but not before 4 runs will cross the plate for the Knights, excuse me, and we'll send it to the top of the 3rd on ICRC-TV Sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
All right, our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Frisson Mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Himself inside the tent. Touchdown, Marymount. From the top of the key, Anna Harbor ties the score.
Big inning for Kings. At the bottom of the 2nd there, they scored 4, coming largely off of a huge RBI triple by Tucker at the top of the order. So now McDonough comes out for his 3rd inning of work with a cushy lead of 3 runs.
Yeah, as a player, I've usually heard that you're taught to, after giving up, after the opposing pitcher gives up a couple of runs, and your team gives you a lead to work with, you're taught to keep plugging away at that zone.
Hunter Vick will be the first batter due up here at the top of the 3rd. And he'll be ahead quickly here. 2 balls to start off this at-bat. Make that 3-0.
Yeah, working with a 3-0 cushion, you don't, or a 3-run cushion, you don't necessarily want to just be pitching balls to start off the inning.
Yeah, the free bases, as we see here, that'll be ball number 4 to Vic. Free bases after a big inning like that can really take the wind out of your sails.
The inning after a big inning is the one you want to lock in and lock down the batters.
Indeed, smother any hopes and dreams the Warriors can have, but a lot of ball game to be played.
Yeah, still a 3rd inning, so plenty of baseball to be played, but locking down the inning after.
McDonough checks over to first. As stepping into the box here is Markham for his 2nd appearance. Another check over. Markham struck out looking in his first battle with McDonough. That one he was just behind as he'll foul that down the left field line.
I will say, though, if the runner at first wants to go, I feel like this would be a pretty good time to go. You don't want to go with 2 strikes usually.
McDonough keeping a keen eye over at first. Vic takes his lead over there. He'll check over again.
Yeah, unlike in the MLB, a 3rd check does not mean...
Or perhaps a 4th check.
Yep, or a 4th check does not mean a disengagement ball.
This one gets away from McDonough behind the plate. Vic will advance easily over to second on a pass ball.
Checked 4 times and ended up giving him second anyways on a pass ball. That's baseball for you.
That is baseball for you. No A move in the world. This one taken over to second. First will reapply his step at first to record the first out. Runner will advance.
That advances the runner to third, though. Sac fly could drive in a run.
Livingston grounded out to short his first time through. We'll take ball 1. This one fouled out past the net. Working with a 1-1 count. We'll take ball number 2.
You are seeing some very good takes from both of these teams' hitters.
Yeah, neither team has really been biting at anything in the dirt or up and around the head.
Sure, there have been some swing and misses for strikeouts, but generally they're not on pitches well outside. And if they are, it's usually on a pretty good breaking ball.
This one fouled over towards the first base dugout. Will go into the dugout and out of play. So Livingston will stay alive. As we'll have a ball resupply for our home plate umpire here. Quite a bit of baseballs hit out, and surrounding Hayden Field is a lot of foliage, so anything hit with any modicum of power is going to be hard to find. This one's fouled way out to right, and that will also track foul.
Talking about that hilly area down the right field line, that bounced right in the foul hilly area.
Yeah, you've got both the home bullpen, or the visitor bullpen for when Xavier's here, and I guess for this game today. But you've got the visitor bullpen to contend with, as well as the hill on the warning track out there. Not an easy job for a right fielder, or at least unordinary, I would describe. This one flied out to third for the second out of the inning.
That is a big out, not allowing the sac fly to drive in a run.
The sac fly will be taken away from Hurst, the opportunity for such.
Now they will need to hit the drive in this run.
Hurst struck out his first time through. McDonough working hard behind the plate to keep Vic from having a chance at running in to score the Warriors' second run of the game. 2-1 now.
You can tell it's a good strike when you hear that big, loud clasp of the glove.
Time called right before the pitch and granted to Hurst. There's a pitcher that's a minor annoyance that you have to deal with occasionally and can throw off your rhythm, but McDonough will come back with some fairly quick pace, but he'll throw ball number 3 of the at-bat.
I am glad he threw that pitch, though, because it can lead to injury if you try to stop mid-windup.
Agreed. Nevertheless, Hurst will take his free base.
Left fielder, number 4, Vincent Strickland.
Stepping up is Strickland, who is the only hit for the Warriors this ballgame. He had a double to start off the second. First pitch offered as a ball. Strickland with some rather fluorescent cleats. Fortunately, you couldn't see it on our low cam there. McDonough to have a quick mound visit and possibly settle down his brother. It's got to be a weird dynamic, I gotta imagine.
Yeah.
Your younger brother telling you to settle down out on the bump. I'm sure I've got a younger brother, and if he was catching me, I don't know if I would be the most eager to listen to what he has to say. Runner will go and advances under the throwdown.
Yeah, talking back on that little brother, I have a little brother as well. I would not be happy if you told me to calm down when I was on the mound.
There you saw the throwdown. No challenge for Hurst to reach. It's 3-1 count here to Strickland.
Now 2 runners in scoring position, too.
And they're going to elect to walk Strickland here
Number 33, Hayden Field.
to get to Kyle, which, you know, I don't know if I agree with it, but it does put the force at every base, so.
And the other thing is, the one hit came from the runner who was just intentionally walked, so you're giving the base to someone who's already had a hit today. Don't give him a chance at another in a favorable count, so I understand where it's coming from.
Kyle swings over the second pitch of the at-bat for a 1-1 count here. Base is juiced for him, and we talked about him at the start of the broadcast as a guy to look out for. He ducks up and away from that ball up and around the head. But entering today was batting .405, so a scary hitter at the plate for Kings. This one, though, is going to be grounded to third and stepped on for the third out of the inning. So doesn't listen to what I'm saying. They know what they're doing. But that'll end the top of the third here on ICRC-TV. We'll be right back.
All right, our first item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Frisson Mayor with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Brings it himself inside the 10. Touchdown, Marymount. From the top of the key, Anna Habra ties the score.
Welcome back for the start of the bottom of the third inning as Ritter comes back out after a pretty rough second, giving up 4 runs. He's going to have to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitter this inning. Kleinhens, then McDonough, the catcher, and then Lyman, who we talked about at the start of this broadcast. So not easy work.
Yeah, going right through the heart of the order there, Will. Definitely not gonna be easy.
No, not at all. Kleinhens will be the first to lead off this inning. He'll take a strike over the middle as Ritter just goes right after him. And sometimes that's what you got to do to kind of regain your composure after a big inning like that. This one grounded over to short. A very nice play, and that'll be not an out as Kleinhens will beat it out.
Let's see that replay.
Another look here. Not an easy play at all for short. Here's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like Kleinhens did in fact beat that out on what will be scored as an infield single.
Yeah, the shortstop was playing pretty far back on the edge of the grass, so makes sense that would be a tough play to make.
Kiefaber is going to make a quick mound visit as Lebanon looks to challenge the call or possibly receive a second opinion. Field ump was the one that made the call. Home plate had an alternative look at it, so umpires are going to meet here.
From our look on the replay, it did look like he was safe, but it is the umpire's decision.
So it appears call is going to stand as we get another look here. Replay review has not made its way to high school yet. And I've got to agree with the call made on the field. Looks like a pretty bang-bang play, but the tie does go to the runner.
I will say, though, my interesting thing is I wonder if he stepped on the bag for the runner or if he stepped on the bag for the...
On the safety bag.
Yes.
You know, they do have the safety bag out there, which is not available at all high school fields, so I don't know if that is in play for today. A bunt shown for the first pitch by McDonough.
Foul off will lead to a strike. Speaking on bunting, what do you think of bunting in this situation?
Well, we'll have to see, as this one is going to be pretty easily read by third, but the job will be done as McDonough will be retired for the first out of the inning. I mean, a runner on first, you know, you're up by 3 runs.
There was nobody out.
There is nobody out.
Well, now there's one, but...
You know, you really, I mean, you shut them down after they get quite a few runners on the bags the previous inning, and you want to make a statement piece here. You want to record maybe a run or two to really, you know, start to blow this one out of hand. But ultimately, I feel like you swing the bat there with your 4-hitter. This one poked all the way down into the left field corner.
And as we say that, we were obviously wrong.
A run will come around. Kleinhens will score. And Lyman, with an RBI double,
a player to watch.
He'll get that run that we were just talking about.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if he scores from first there, so it seems like that was quite a good read from the coach.
Griffiths now steps up. He had a walk in the second, came all the way around to score in that big and long second inning.
Once again, though, we talked about Lyman before the game, and he drives in that run.
Ritter takes an extra long time to get his sign here. The 1-1. Left up by Griffiths.
You got a question with the Lebanon ace on the mound, giving up 5 runs. How is the rest of this game going to go?
For the moment, Warriors will let Ritter ride. He's got a 3-1 count, though, to Griffiths. This one lifted out to center. That one's going to get over the heads and be another double at the very least for the Knights.
And that will
Lyman's going to come all the way around
one.
and score. And that's back-to-back RBI doubles to get another 2 runs across the plate. This inning advances the lead from 1-4 to 1-6.
Kings are looking to blow this one open.
They are indeed. We'll have another quick mound visit from Kiefaber, talking to Ritter out there. And we'll see number 13 for the Warriors making his way down to the bullpen. Kiefaber probably or possibly trying to buy some time for another pitcher to get loose down there.
Yeah, you got to feel with them driving driving someone into the bullpen, you got to think another hit might just pull Ritter out of the game.
First pitch to Schutt is a strike. So we just got to look there at the bullpen.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, you can see it is right down that right field line.
It'll be Kai Early getting loose for the Warriors. Here in the bottom of the third. This is going to be another hit through the 4-hole. Brings around another run.
It will hold him at third.
Sorry, excuse me. They do hold him at third. Which will make it runners at the corners. And now we have the pitching coach for the Warriors making a mound visit.
You got to think he's just buying time for his bullpen arm to get ready.
I would imagine so. When we were looking at Ritter's ERA, it didn't look like the Warriors were going to plan on burning him early in this game. I think they were going to try and let it ride, and Kings are just not giving up a whole lot at the plate. They're biting at everything that Ritter has thrown so far past the first inning.
Yeah.
So Ritter will remain on the bump. As we said earlier, Kai Early is the arm in the Lebanon bullpen getting loose right now. But he only headed down there probably a minute or two ago, so I got to imagine they're just trying to get this game or get Ritter out of this inning possibly. And with a runner at first, that is possible.
Yeah, they
rather
showed
quickly
bunt.
here. They did show bunt.
Third baseman was man at third was a third the way down the line.
Caleb Yoder struck out in the second inning. What was the second out of the second inning? He'll ground over to first. They'll try and turn 2. They'll get the runner at second, but say first came off the bag, and another run will come in to score.
I think the runner was safe at first either way.
I am inclined to agree. As you get another look there, it looked like he had beaten it out already.
But that will drive in another run. It is now 7-1.
First pitch to Spaeth. It's a ball in the dirt.
That looked like it might have been behind the batter. We've got a matchup of the number 23s.
We do, the Michael Jordans. Which is funny because I believe Kings also has 2 23s, at least on my roster sheet. This one is Jackson Spaeth.
23 is definitely an interesting number to choose. I will say, Michael Jordan was not very good at baseball.
That indeed. Some people like to think so.
I mean, I guess he made it into the MLB, so that tells you something.
Yeah, he did have quite a run with the Barons, who I believe were the AA affiliate of the White Sox at the time.
Yes.
In between his 6 championships in basketball. Yes. Oh, that pitch is going to hit Spaeth up around the elbow.
Looks like he caught his guard, though, so.
I failed to mention earlier, Spaeth had reached in the second on a fielder's choice and came around all the way to score. That time he will reach again on a hit by pitch.
It looks like they will be going to the pen now. Maybe? Maybe not.
Ritter remains on the bump. Kai Early came down from the bullpen and looked like he was ready to go. And we had a coach's visit, and yet they elect to keep Ritter in the ballgame.
Number 3, center fielder, Nathan Tucker.
I start to wonder if they have decided that they're going to just ride Ritter as long as his arm doesn't get tired.
Perhaps. I mean, with 2 outs,
you're already
on the
down
precipice
7-1.
of getting out of this.
You're already down 7-1. He's on the precipice of getting out of this. You got to think, why not let him finish off this inning?
Tucker will be the one to face Ritter once again. He had a 3 RBI triple in the second that really blew this game out of proportion early on here.
Yeah, I've got to wonder, though, what will Ritter's ERA be after this game? It's definitely going up.
That is a question for a mathematician that is not myself. I wouldn't be able to give that information, but Tucker will get walked on 4 pitches there, and we'll have another collection at the mound. So this one will be the official end to Ritter's afternoon, as we will step aside here for a quick break here on ICRC-TV. You're back with us on ICRC-TV as we are still in the bottom of the third, and what's turned out to be a rather long inning for Ritter, the former pitcher who went 2 2/3, now stepping up to the bump is Kai Early, or Early. I apologize if I messed that up, but he's got 11 2/3 innings on the season, a 4.80 ERA, 12 strikeouts, and coming in with his work cut out for him as the bases are loaded.
There is 2 outs, though, so he just needs to get one guy out. Force at any base.
Try and keep this game somewhat
we saw
within reach.
We saw both teams' batting averages. They were quite high, so you never know. You get out of this, put up a couple of runs. It is only the 3rd inning.
A lot of gut ball game to be played. However, it could be a rather short one with a timely base hit here for Carson McDonough. 2 strikeouts on the evening for McDonough. And he'll have to work back once again from an 0-2 count. That pitch left up by McDonough.
Yeah, looking at the stats here, the most runs Lebanon has put up in a game in conference is 7. So they've definitely got their work cut out for them if they want to come back in this game.
The 3rd out will come first. This one placed high and mighty out to center, but settling under it for the 3rd out will end the inning. But another 3 runs come to plate for Kings as they head into the top of the 4th, up 1-7.
Here we go. Let's see if Lebanon can work their way back into this.
Get a look here at the Kings coaches. All smiles from their dugout so far as they're up big early here in our ball game. McDonough will be out for his 4th inning of work.
You got to think McDonough must be pretty happy with the lead he's been given.
Most definitely. Loudon Hughes is up for his 2nd at-bat. He had a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning.
He
but
called
did reach.
time.
Takes a strike at the knees there. Brings the count to 2-1. Warriors have 7, 8, 9 due up this inning.
If you can get a couple runners on, turn it up to the top of the order.
This one in play. McDonough, the catcher, will settle under that for out number 1.
Pitcher
on what was not a easy play as a catcher. Normally you turn your back to the infield as that ball's going to tail away from you, but McDonough makes a quality play there to record the out.
The other funny thing was I think we had just had a gust of wind as that ball was hitting the air.
Yeah, the wind is blowing pretty steadily out to left all game. We are fortunately shielded by quite a bit of trees behind us.
But if that ball gets high up in the air, the wind will blow it.
Kiefaber is the one at bat now. He struck out looking in his first at-bat. Looking to get something started for the Warriors. They've only the one hit in the second from Strickland. That was a double. Their lone run. The 2-2. Low and inside. So the count is full to Kiefaber. McDonough had a couple of walks in the third to make things interesting. Time was called right before the pitch there. This one driven out to left.
Well foul.
That is the second time we have seen a batter call time and have it granted as the pitch is about to be delivered. McDonough is working with quite a bit of pace out there on the bump.
I will say that I think that that time was called a bit earlier. The pitcher just didn't realize.
Kiefaber will seek ball 4 and see ball 4.
Number 7, Drew Eckerly.
Stepping up is Drew Eckerly. Flew out to second. His first time through. This one taken over to first. Caught on the hop. Elects to take the unassisted out at first. Runner will advance over to second.
Probably a smart play. That was the safest of the possible plays.
Yeah, double play was not guaranteed. Would have been a hard one to try and make the play at second. Strike 1 to Vic. He walked his first time through in the third. Got all the way to third before the inning was ended without much damage from the Warriors. Vic will see ball number 2. Vic led off the third inning and is now having a second at bat in the fourth inning. He'll swing over the top of that and strike out for the third inning. So McDonough threw another inning of scoreless baseball. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth here on ICRC-TV.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you see some fans in the lovely Hayden Field in Norwood, Ohio, of Xavier University.
They got their blankets on them.
Quite a few fans. Some kids running out and down the first baseline. Always nice to see some young fans. Early, who went a third inning, last inning, is back out on the mound for the Warriors, trying to keep things close, as the Knights' bats have just been relentless through the last 2 innings of play.
Very much so.
Due up is Kleinhens. He had a single and came around to score in the third.
Let's see if Early can lock this back down.
First pitch was a strike. Second pitch will miss just up in the zone. Swings over it for strike number 2. Kleinhens was the first of many bats to get it started in the third inning. He's led off last inning and is leading off this inning. He'll go down on strikes to start off the fourth. Get another look here.
Catcher number 12, Parker McDonough.
Just a fastball, it looked like, up and away.
Like we were mentioning for Ritter in the previous inning, much the MO for Early here is going to be getting 3 quick outs and trying to keep this game in the ballpark, no pun intended, of being still a game that the Warriors can find themselves in. McDonough, the catcher, is up for his third appearance. He had a single in the second, which started the scoring for the Knights.
You have seen a good number of strikes thrown.
This one belted, tracking out to left, but will be reined in for the second out on a well-hit ball, allowed out.
Yes, very much so. Caught on the warning track. As we see a replay.
Yeah, that ball was just left high and fat for McDonough, but not quite enough. It looks like the breeze may have calmed down a little bit out there. Lyman will take his first offering, foul it to the backstop. He had an RBI double in the third.
Yeah, as I take a look at those flags out there in left field, blowing a bit, but definitely have settled down.
Yeah, not much to the degree that they were at the top of our game. One is the count to Lyman. And a big swing. but nothing to show for it. 1-2 is the count. Two to Lyman. Fifth pitch of the at-bat is going to miss outside.
This will
bring the count to full. Lyman's going to draw a walk to try and start a 2-out rally here.
Number 22, Tyler Griffiths.
Tyler Griffiths stepping in for his third at-bat. He's got a walk and a double, an RBI double, 2 runs on the game. Runner will go. Throw beat him, but was across the bag, and Lyman will take second. Get another look at the throw here.
Yeah, talking about Lyman, he was our player to watch. We talked about his batting average, but we didn't really talk about his ability to steal bases.
Griffiths with the 1-1 count. Take ball number 2.
This is a needed out for Lebanon.
Kings have been relentless with runners in scoring position. To this point, only 3 runners who have made it into scoring position have not come in to score, and all 3 of those were at the end of a consecutive run inning already. So the bats for the Knights have obviously been a key contributor into the scoreline that we're seeing tonight, but baseball is such a game where, you know, sometimes the bats are hot, and you know, whatever the team does, it just doesn't seem like they can miss up there. I mean, right now, Ritter did not look like he was pitching a bad ball game at all, and was just getting belted all over the field.
Well, another thing you want to think about is the fact that these are high schoolers, and they are having to deal with the pressure of having people in scoring position, and it's hard to deal with that.
It can be. Griffiths drew a walk there. That'll be his second of the ball game. Stepping in is Zach Schutt.
Even for MLB players, a lot of times they tend to pitch a lot differently when they've got people on base and in scoring position than they do.
That you must, and unfortunately for the Warriors, wasn't able to keep 7 runs from coming around and scoring. Kings threatening once again. Runners on second and first. Schutt will foul off the second pitch of that bat, bring the count to 1-1. Time will be granted once again. Third pitch of the at-bat will be left outside. Brings the count to 2-1.
The Kings hitters have been taking some really good pitches, though.
It's my favorite part of the ball game to say deuce is wild, as we have 2 runners on, 2 outs, 2-2 count. Number 2 at the plate to make it even more crazy for you. Count will go to full to Shutt.
If you want to add something on, it's the second half of the inning.
It is. Shutt has 2 singles thus far this game. 1 he came around to score. Runners will go. Out of play. So we'll stay right here.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Well, that's one of my favorite plays in baseball, though, the double steal.
Yeah, runners will be going on the 3-2 count and 2 outs with the force. So anything in play here to the outfield is probably bringing a run home. Early will check over to second.
On the mound here, what pitch do you throw?
And a 3-2 count. Whatever pitch that was, as Shutt will go down looking with runners on to end the 4th. So we'll step aside here and be back for the top of the 5th here on ICRC-TV Sports.
First item of business is a presentation, which is a swearing in of a new officer.
A Frisson Mare with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas. Himself inside the 10. Touchdown, Marymount. From the top of the key, Anna Harbor ties the score.
See it coming. It's pre-diabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute pre-diabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
1-7 ball game here at Hayden Field as McDonough takes another inning of work under his belt. He's got 6 strikeouts through 4 innings of work.
Is this a new hitter we have?
That ball taken over to third. Cross the diamond throw. Will be out number 1. As that was a pinch hitter. I will check to get a name for him here shortly.
Nice play on that replay there from the third baseman to throw it all the way across the diamond and get that out.
Indeed, a cross-body back pick. Peyton Livingston grounded out and flew out in his first 2 appearances.
Yeah, looking back at this Lebanon roster, if they want to come back, they've got the veteran power to do it. Lots of seniors on this roster.
Owen Franciscus was the batter to lead off the inning for the Warriors in a pinch hit appearance. count will go to full to Livingston.
That was a very good take from the Lebanon pitcher. That pitch was just below the knees.
Livingston will call time. Didn't like something. We'll put this one out to short across the diamond, and we'll record the second out.
Feels weird to call a 6-pitch at bat short, but it kind of felt like a short bat with how quick Conahue was pitching.
I agree. McDonough has been working quick this entire game. A couple of times batters for Lebanon have called time as McDonough was rearing to throw, but it has not seemed to affect his rhythm at all. Mason Hurst had a walk in the third, struck out in the first. We'll take strike number 2 here.
Yeah, we were talking about this brother duo, and they are rolling.
Grounded over to short. Another cross diamond throw, and another clean pick over at first. So a 1-2-3 inning for McDonough. We'll keep this game 1-7 as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on ICRC-TV Sports.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
Bottom of the 5th here at Hayden Field. Still a 1-7 ball game. 1 hit and 7 hits for Lebanon and Kings respectively, as the Kings have been real shut down after they gave up 1 run in the 2nd inning. We saw a 1-2-3 inning there at the top of the 5th. And they come back up to bat, looking to add a few more and possibly put this game out of reach for the Warriors.
Yeah, you just got to wonder, though. We talked about the teams in the beginning of the game and the difference in the earned run average. I will tell you this. It feels like the pitching has been the difference in this game.
Perhaps, as Ritter, who was coming into this game with a 1.80 ERA for the Warriors, was bounced around early in the 2nd and 3rd inning. Kai Early is in relief now as he gives up a poke out to center field. That one's going to get down for extra bases. Yoder going all the way to 3rd, and he'll come in standing up, giving a sword celebration there over at 3rd base. Yoder just got all of that one, put it right in the gap. And this being a collegiate field, when that ball gets by, it just rolls and rolls.
Yep.
Yoder made 2 great picks in the top of the inning, and there he is getting a triple for himself here in the bottom.
That ball kind of just sat on that hill, too.
It did. Stepping in now is Spaeth. He's got a fielder's choice and a hit by pitch his first 2 times through.
Yeah, here at Hayden Field, we've got some interesting field dimensions, so hitting it to the right part of the park can very easily lead to a triple.
Yeah. Yoder definitely put that in what I would call a triple alley at Hayden Field here. Spaeth with a 2-1 count. Early with the 2-2. This one put up, out to center.
Should be deep enough.
And the run will come in to score as the throw is not close enough to challenge the run. So Spaeth with a sac fly to center. Does his part to add another run for the Knights.
I mean, other than a home run or a hit, that is about the other than a hit, that's about the at bat expected.
Nathan Tucker seeks out his 4th plate appearance today. He's got a flyout and a 3 RBI triple. He grounds over to short. And they'll call him out despite King's dugout begging for a safe call there. A mighty close play for sure. We'll take another look here. Throw across the diamond. Did look pretty close.
That's a bang-bang play right there.
That is. The Knights elect not to challenge that one or look for an appeal.
I mean, up 8-1, you kind of
perhaps
can deal with
one of those unwritten rules, right? McDonough, the pitcher. Carson. He's got 2 strikeouts and a flyout to center, so one of the few, if the only, batter on Kings who has yet to record a hit today.
We'll see how long that lasts.
We will. Seems like everybody has had a piece of the pie for the Knights today. He sees this pitch up, brings the count to 3-1. And we're having a warning issued by the home plate umpire to the Lebanon dugout. Perhaps some chirping about the calls here.
I mean, I'm not one to talk, but I feel like this game has been called pretty well.
From our vantage point, it's been a pretty consistent ball game, but I understand that, you know, it can be quite frustrating as Lebanon's coach will make another visit onto the field. Umpire did not take any action there, and it's hard for us to make out what was exactly being said, but I understand, you know, you're down 7 runs here, and frustrations are probably building at this point.
Any pitch that might be close might get you a bit over the tipping point.
First pitch to Kleinhens, misses inside. He has a single and a run.
I'll start to look at some of these pitches to see if I think there's anything that seems egregious, but I haven't seen anything quite yet.
Early will check over to first. And they're going to call a balk on Early. I'm hoping we can get another look here as Lebanon's coach is going to make another mound visit. Actually, he's going to appeal over to the umpire. There you got another look. The call came in late on the balk.
I mean,
here's another look here. It did look like the front foot may have shifted before making the jump move. Always risky as a right-handed pitcher to try and make that jump move to first. As one action, the action of the back foot needs to happen before the action of the first foot, or the front foot, excuse me. But nevertheless, McDonough awarded second base off of that move. Lebanon dugout has not been happy this inning.
I will say, in a conference rivalry game, this can happen, especially when it's in a game that's in an event such as this Reds event.
Yeah, you know, you're playing at beautiful Hayden Field. You want to play up to the standards that you know as yourself as a team can perform.
And I mean, looking at the records before the game, Lebanon had the better record, so they were probably expecting to win this game.
But they lost the first matchup to Kings, if I remember correctly, right?
I will recheck that. No, they beat Kings 7-2 yesterday.
They did beat Kings, but this is a game carrying over from yesterday, so that'll be a strikeout on Kleinhens to end the inning in what was an eventful inning with only one run coming all the way around. But we will head to the top of this six here on ICRC.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
To deep left field.
Welcome to another edition of What's Going Down the Dale.
Welcome. You're listening to the Human Resource.
Yeah, well, easy fight.
So, welcome back to Hayden Field here. What you're seeing now was a look during the break between our umpire and our coach of Lebanon, who are still conversing over on the first base dugout. A couple of ball and strike calls were being challenged by Lebanon's head coach. Came out of the dugout and was issued a warning, but remains in the ball game even after some, further extracurriculars with our home plate umpire. Counts 2-0 to Strickland. He has the only hit and only run for the Warriors to this point. He sees a 3-0 count from McDonough, who remains in the ball game for what would be his sixth inning of work, and that's going to be a 4-pitch walk to lead us off here. Braden Kyle will step in.
Seems like Lebanon's trying to hype up their team, try to get back into this game.
Yeah, with the positioning of some of our field mics, I'm sure our audiences at home can listen in to the energy that is emanating out of the Warriors dugout as they look to get a little something going here.
Yeah, you know, sometimes just hearing your coach stand up for you can do that.
Runner was going on the pitch on what was possibly a hit and run call. Kyle fouled it off, so Strickland will return to first. And now running on 2 strikes. What do you think, Lucas?
I think it just depends.
He doesn't go on that one, but Kyle will see the pitch for strike number 3. As we have the field ump discussing something with our pitcher and catcher brother duo. Perhaps some verbiage being exchanged after that strikeout. You know, the point of balls and strikes on the Lebanon side has been contested today so far. Runner goes. Strickland beats the throw.
You know, this is what's so fun about conference play. Both teams go back and forth at each other.
That is, and you corrected me in the break and in last inning. Lebanon and Kings did play last night. Lebanon took that one 7-2. And so what could have been some rising tensions from yesterday maybe being felt a little bit today.
Definitely. I did hear someone from the Lebanon dugout shouting earlier, it's always Lebanon. Meaning something like this must have happened in the past.
Another 3-0 count, this time to Loudon Hughes.
And that one goes to the backstop.
That does, allows Strickland to advance over to third. McDonough will take his freebie. This pitch, nice sound off the bat. Taken out to center, but going to be tracked down for out number 2. Strickland will come in to score on a sacrifice fly. So, after 3 innings since their first run, Warriors will plate another.
I will say that was a nice job of tracking from the center fielder to make sure that ball doesn't get down for a hit.
Most definitely. We've seen a couple of baseballs put out into that part of the field that have gotten down and gone for standing triples. That one reined in. Limits the damage to just 1 run.
Correct.
Here we're seeing an extended mound visit. McDonough has been quite efficient today. He's got 7 strikeouts. Only allowed the 2 runs.
For Kings, now pitching, number 23, Jackson Spates. Spates now pitching. And the pitcher, Carson McDonough, moves to third base.
So we will have a pitching change, and as you see in high school sometimes, we will take the pitcher out of the game and relocate him to a infield position or an outfield position. This time, McDonough will move over to third. Spaeth, who was playing third base, will move to the mound, so it'll just be a 1-for-1 transfer. And we'll step aside for a quick break here as we let Spaeth get warmed up here on ICRC-TV.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
So McDonough on 5 2/3 innings of work gives up 2 runs on 2 hits. Sorry, excuse me, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, and will hand over the reins to Jackson Spaeth. He's got 5 2/3 innings on the year, throwing 247 with 4 strikeouts. Will come into relief for the Kings. At the plate is Kiefaber. Kiefaber reached in the 4th on a walk. Second pitch taken for a ball. The sun is now fully set to the point where the mound and home plate are no longer one's in sun and one's in shade. Lucas, how do you think that has been affecting some of the bats today?
I mean, on the Kings side, it doesn't seem like it's affected them that much, considering the fact that they've just been hitting and hitting and hitting. But I question if it's affected the pitchers a bit, because either way, from both sides, we've seen a lot of heavy full counts, 2-2 counts. So I wonder if it's affected the pitching more than it's affected the batting.
Kiefaber took a 4-pitch walk there. Ball will scoot away from McDonough, but Kiefaber elects not to take the base. And now is Eckerly. Count to Eckerly as 1-1. He's had a fly out to second base and a ground out to first, so yet to break the infield. This one will be grounded over to third and not fielded cleanly by Yoder. Throw did not have a ton of oomph over there. That is our former pitcher of the game. Perhaps
still getting used to being on the diamond instead of on the mound.
Yeah, and you wonder, I mean, I don't have a pitch count on me, but he did throw quite a few pitches on today, and this one will be taken over to second. They're going to elect to get the easy one and record the third out of the inning. So that will do it for the top of the 6th. Lebanon will take one more run with them as they finally move McDonough out of the game. We'll see you guys on the bottom of the 6th here on ICRC-TV.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Hayden Field as the sun begins to start to creep below the horizon. Temperatures starting to dip into what I would call a little bit chilly. How are you feeling right now, Lucas?
Yeah, I had already put on my sweatshirt in the second inning, so Definitely getting a bit chillier. I mean, we're starting to feel a bit of the wind ourselves under these tents, but...
It is. We're having a nice crisp breeze blowing through. Very dry. Almost feels like autumn air right now, despite, us being in May now. We had that week of really nice weather in the mid to high 70s, and tonight it's really cooled off into saying 54 on my weather app, but feels a little bit chillier than that. First pitch to McDonough, taken for a strike.
Yeah, talking weather. I mean, I'm a bit used to the windy weather. I'm from the Windy City myself. So.
Yes. Well, the Windy City, if I understand correctly, was because there was a bunch of lawyers there, right? And they used to talk a lot. And so it wasn't windy, the city.
Yeah, but it is a very windy city.
It is. I've been to Chicago, and I do got to say it is a very, very windy city.
I mean, talking on the Cincinnati, this being the Cincinnati Reds showcase, arrival of a team in Chicago. I mean, I'm sure a lot of Cincinnatians have been to Chicago as well.
Mm-hmm. That is a rival of the Reds at this Reds showcase. Reds are playing pretty well this year.
They very much are. They are currently leading the NL Central.
McDonough fouled off to make it 2-2 here.
Yeah, another thing we were talking about, the heated rivalry. Being at a showcase in a year where named after the Reds, when the Reds are good, might add a bit of something into the competitiveness of the showcase.
Perhaps it will. A pitch appealed to first. They say McDonough didn't go. Brings the count to full. Swung on and missed for Early's fourth strikeout.
Early has given up a run, but after coming in this game, has done a pretty good job of at least slowing down this Knights offense.
Yeah, it's a tough ask when you have Lyman put this ball all the way up the middle, and he'll get an infield single. And where I was going with that was it is a really tough ask for a pitcher to come into a game. You've got a bunch of runners on. You're just asked to keep it somewhat close. And other times, I mean, you've already got the run, you're coming from way back in the score. And so, giving up a hit here or there kind of eases that worry, and
yeah. I mean, but the thing is, he got out of a pretty sticky situation, and then has only given up one run since.
Yeah, really has settled down the scorecard. Griffiths up at the plate now. He fouls it off to make it a 1-1 count. And I mentioned a little bit earlier, with the exception of Carson McDonough, the pitcher, batting second in the lineup, every player for the Knights has recorded at least a hit.
Yeah, if that doesn't tell you anything about how well the Knights have been hitting today. One thing that really impresses me and is my favorite thing about baseball is you can have a lineup who just has a really strong top of the order, who just get through that order 3 or 4 times, they'll give you 3 or 4 runs.
Warriors will get 2 on that play. That'll end the bottom of the 6th with no damage.
I will get back to my thought after the break.
Here on ICRC-TV Sports.
gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Hayden Field, as you can see, an arm waiting out of our production truck there out in center field. And we got Ryan Mulcahy on our pitch follow cam out there. So just a couple of our crew members. There's Afdal over on our third base camera, I believe, waving high. And we at ICRC-TV, we appreciate our volunteers and our interns. That's our main man, Austin, over there at first base, running another camera. And up behind me is Mr. Dean Lowry, and just the guy that you can reach out to if you ever want to get involved with ICRC-TV. Hit Dean at ICRC-TV.com, send him an email, or visit our website. Get involved anyway. If you want to announce like me and Lucas here today, if you want to get involved in the cameras or in the truck, we'd love to have you here at ICRC-TV.
Going back to the game here. As I was saying before we left for break, one thing that's so great about baseball is you can have hitters and hitting lineups that can hit 1 through 4.
There's us.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
scary.
us. Yeah.
I don't expect to be on camera ever.
Neither do I.
Well, we're glad to have you here for this ball game in lovely Norwood, Ohio, at Hayden Field of the gorgeous Xavier University. This one put into play by Franciscus.
Yeah, but
will be foul.
Going back to what I was saying for the third time, my favorite thing about baseball and hitting is that you can have a lineup who has just a very strong top of the order and may not have the best back of the order, but that top of the order can hit up 5 or 6 runs in a hurry. Or you can have a lineup that can hit 1 through 9, like we have here today, and have everyone hitting, and the pitcher's like, they don't have a free out. They don't have that guy that they can rely upon maybe getting that big pitch against.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Kings here, and we were talking a little bit about it in the previous inning, and I know the Warriors are up at bat, but the only player, as this one is taken out to right by Franciscus, but will be settled under and caught by the right fielder for the first out of the top of the 7th.
Well, as I was saying about my point is, I feel like Kings has a lot of just different bats. You can do a lot of different things and get hits, whereas Lebanon has the type of bats that give you hits as well, but a lot of times from them you're just getting a lot of power hits and liners, where you've seen infield hits from the Knights, you've seen doubles into the gap, you've seen triples into the gap, you've seen them just take walks.
No shortage of hits for them today. The only player to not record a hit for the Knights was the pitcher Carson McDonough, so I'm sure he's happy to have his team batting behind him. But Spaeth on the mound here will get the second out of the inning, and Warriors will be at their final out of the game.
I mean, looking at some of these at-bats from the Lebanon batters, it doesn't even feel like they've necessarily been struggling too much at the plate. It just feels like some of these balls they're just hitting in the wrong spot, or they're just swinging and missing at just 1 or 2 pitches that maybe they shouldn't.
First pitch to Hurst is a strike, and yeah, as you mentioned, sometimes your team is just not finding the holes. I think Lebanon has put quite a few balls in play today, and haven't had, even an error really, or a chippy infield single to kind of get things started for them. As quickly as they've gotten on base, they've been retired rather quickly.
Yeah, we look at this game, it's been pretty clean baseball. There's just the one error from the pitcher who became the third baseman. And I mean, that can sometimes be expected to see something like that in on your first hit to you.
Time granted to Hurst. Spaeth with the 1-2. This one slapped over to second. And we'll do it for our ball game here at Hayden Field. So Kings, in a decisively offensive game for them today, will defeat the Lebanon Warriors 2-8 on 1 hit to 9 hits. Lebanon with 0 errors. Kings with 1. And an excellent pitching duel. A lot of hits that we've seen today on a very, very nice day here at Hayden Field. Lucas, any closing thoughts on what you saw here today?
Very fun game here today. I mean, both sides were having their aces on the mound, it kind of felt like, and they both got some good at-bats, but Kings overall just hit much better against the opposing ace.
So Kings and Lebanon will split the series 1-1 as Lebanon took the game yesterday. Kings take the game today. We thank you for joining us here on ICRC-TV for this Reds Futures showcase game at Hayden Field, and we look forward to seeing you at the next game on ICRC-TV Sports.